Good afternoon, friends, neighbors, countrymen, and barrel-chested freedom fighters all around the world. Woo! What a day this has been. I made the mistake of looking at the news, and honestly, I have been so surprised by the large amount of either ignorance or just blatant stupidity that it amazes me. So I have to tell you this. I'm calling this little segment Dumb Quotes of the Week. Now, I'm going to start with some favorites because these are all dandies. Now, for those of you who do not know, there is a very famous female journalist named Christiana Adams, and she did an interview with CNN this week. And her quote is fascinating. I'm going to read it. She told CNN Newsroom, quote, that overturning Roe versus Wade was really a serious moment, not only for American women, but also America's ability to hold its head up as a democracy that respects the right of every constituent. Okay, that's not too bad. But it gets funnier. I would say that as a conclusion, American democracy and the state of American women's rights are really being looked at, not just by the rest of the West as these meetings are happening, but by the rest of the world. She then said, and this is kind of where I lost it, you think the Taliban are going to actually say, oh yeah, we're going to adhere to what you tell us for recognition based on what you know and what you do about women? This is really serious, this moment for American women and for America's ability to hold its head up as a democracy that respects the right of every constituent, unquote. Oh my God. Where do I start? The Taliban don't care about women's rights. And Christiana, as a woman who's reported from the battlefields of Afghanistan, your ignorance or stupidity is totally astounding. That is the dumbest comment I think I've heard in a long time. And, it kind of made me regret. At one point in time, I did drive her around Baghdad. And honestly, to the guys who were with me, the world would have probably been better off if we just stopped right in the middle of Route Irish, kicked her butt out, and let her get to the green zone on her own power. And you guys know who you are. So, but that was pretty dense right there. And really, I thought she was smarter than that. But it gets better. Now, there's some dude named Rex Chapman. I guess he's like a retired NBA basketball player, white dude. Doesn't really matter. But apparently he's quite woke. And Clarence Thomas has been generating a lot of agony and anger among the left lately. And Rex Chapman, because he's attempting to paint Clarence Thomas as a racist, he actually referred to him as a black white supremacist. Clayton Bigsby, which that is one of my favorite David Chappelle sketches, but he compounded it with this statement, or he put it in Twitter. Why have you never seen Clarence Thomas at an NBA game? As in, ever. So, the irony there is that this white basketball player is saying that all black people must love basketball. I mean, that's a pretty racist statement right there, and the tone deafness is literally agonizing. I mean, I don't know who Rex Chapman is, but he is about as dumb as a box of turnips. But it gets better, and since the Supreme Court is again on many people's minds. And there's a show called Good Morning America. It used to be popular. It's on ABC's. And this is a show that probably has a few million viewers. They have a staff. I would think they would have a staff that would review what is said. And they put this out today on, I believe it was a YouTube video. They may have done it online, I'm not sure. But anyway, it states, Ketanji Brown Jackson sworn in as first black Supreme Court justice in U.S. history, unquote. And I know they don't consider Clarence Thomas to be a black man, but Thurgood Marshall, who preceded him, was the first black Supreme Court justice, and that was in the 1970s. But here is a show put on by one of the major TV networks, and they screw that fact up. Heck, they ought to hire me to be their fact checker. Now, to their credit, they did put a retraction later stating that Justice, and I'm probably mutilating her name, Ketanji Brown Jackson is the first black female Supreme Court justice in U.S. history, and probably the first Supreme Court justice in U.S. history that couldn't define a woman. So I think she's kind of famous for that now. But, hey, freedom fighters, there's a lot more poop is going to come out the pipe. We've got some more Tales of the Patrol Base coming up. Let's stay out there. I know sometimes it doesn't seem like it, but we're watching the opponents of freedom and liberty eat themselves and make bigger fools out of themselves than we could ever do to them. So, continue to train, watch your six, and God bless America.